Alright guys, welcome to my review of Godzilla vs. Kong, and with me today have a good friend of mine, Jamesdaley. Hopefully you guys
What's
know who he
up?
is.
Yeah, bro. Everyone knows me.
Hopefully. How's it going, man?
What's up?
Alright,
We're talking
so,
about the King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
yes. So, what were your general thoughts on that film? Because I'm pretty sure most people in the
Uh
online are.
I don't know. You like the movie obviously a lot more than I
Oh,
did. Just
fuck yeah.
hearing your initial reaction. Alright, so I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. Everything that didn't have Millie Bobby Brown in it, I liked.
Everything that didn't have her in it, I expected that from you.
She's the most useless part of that movie. Don't even act like she isn't.
No, I completely agree, and there were two main flaws in that film. Because currently, like as a Godzilla fan, it is currently an 8 or 9 out of 10 for me, just because, like in terms of a Godzilla film, it's spectacular.
Don't even act like it wasn't because Godzilla won. That was the only reason.
No,
Don't even.
look, okay, fair, but regardless,
If Godzilla lost, that shit would be a 5 for you. Don't even
I
act
would
like it
yeah, I would
wasn't.
have knocked it down to like a 4. I'm walked into legendary with a fucking shotgun. But regardless, um, that the two things that I wish they had done better: take out the stuff with Millie Bob Brown and replace it with some explanation of certain lore tidbits. Like, give us a backstory to the axe that Kong gets. Give us a backstory to that massive palace in the Hollow Earth. Just give us some more explanation and some more details instead of just this.
Maybe explain Mecha a little better.
Oh yeah. Though I will admit, for what they did with Mecha and how they did explain it, I thought it made sense to me, but that's probably just
It
because
made
of
no. It made sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it was sprung on us in the last 15 minutes of the fucking movie.
yeah. Though I will say though, Mecha was fucking badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm,
Certainly not my
definitely.
favorite portrayal of Mecha Godzilla though. That's Kiryu from the Millennium series. That design and character of Mecha is my second favorite kaiju of all time. Just spectacular version.
My thing with this movie is that it had all the awesome elements. It's just I felt a useless need to bring in three actors that were somewhat notable actors, like Millie Bobby Brown, the New Zealand guy from Deadpool, and I can't remember the black guy. I can't remember his name. Anyway, back to the point. These three actors, who were somewhat notable, all three of them, had no actual use for the movie. They were there for no reason, and the whole only reason they were there was because they had notability,
They were
notoriety.
there to keep continuity from the last film. That's like I think the main marketing purpose of that was be like, hey guys, it's still the same characters you know and love from the last movie.
Hey, how about her father, who literally wasn't in it at
Who
all
was there for 3 minutes. Like I think
in
that's the
total?
like 3 minutes is like a generous like
Yeah, it was probably
assumption
more like
for
two and a
time.
half.
Yeah, like
Like,
not even 2.5. I'm like two. Like you got like two 1 minute long scenes. That was it. Like maybe like a couple like 5 second ones sprinkled in there. Like
and like the other thing about too was just like okay, so you have the crawlers
skull
that appear
crawlers.
just to get, yeah, the skull crawlers. They appear. We see some bats. We see some cool kaiju and all that. Like we see some interesting things. Of course, I thought we could have used a few more monsters in the actual place where all they're from, because we didn't really
Oh
see
yeah,
many.
I would have liked to see more kaiju from the Hollow Earth. Though I will admit, just the war bats were badass. Those giant
Maybe
snake things.
maybe more, just more animals at all, because for a forest full of animals, it had no animals in it.
I hope that in the next film, because there will be a next film, I hope they do expand on the Hollow Earth more, because there's so much that they can get out of that and make it. There's so much they can expand on. So I think from just a
I
marketing
agree.
standpoint and Ryan's standpoint, it's like their best move would be to expand on that Hollow Earth.
Well, who do you? Well, I thought the movie was interesting. I think the fights with Godzilla and Kong were a little That made sense. It's easy to understand the why Kong would have a mobile advantage, as he's more flexible,
Right.
since Godzilla has small arms. It makes sense that Godzilla was quite obviously the stronger monster.
Which, might I add, this movie essentially killed that whole Kong can lift 10 times his own weight argument. Killed it. Shot it in the head. It's done. It is not a thing. Kong cannot do that. End of story. Thank God.
Uh No, he should be stronger if anything.
Because no, actually, like, the whole thing is like he's only able to lift kaiju like that are around his weight is what we've been shown, whereas Godzilla can lift kaiju that are nearly twice his weight, like Muto Prime and Ghidorah. He's able to lift them, which is ridiculous. But regardless, it's I really like that every fight that we see between the two, they play to each character's strengths. Like Khan is using a lot of tactics and being mobile, dodging around Godzilla, and Godzilla is just pure ferocity and combat experience. Like just all the power coming out and actually surprisingly formulating. Actually, Godzilla was pretty smart in this film. I will point out, like he's not the big dumb lizard that a lot of people think he is.
I will point out he like towards the end of it, he kind of fucked up Kong.
Okay, what I think we're gonna do? Let's break down each fight individually because that final fight just needs its own section. Because holy shit.
Yeah.
So let's start
The
with
first-
the fight.
The first fight was quite obviously a beating.
It was a wash. Like
literally, there was a lot of water involved.
no pun intended, but yeah, because it's Godzilla. Like what people don't realize is Godzilla is most at home in the water. He's amphibious.
Wait, question. Did Godzilla kill all the other monsters? Is that what happened? I'm trying to remember.
Oh yeah, no. In the opening credits, they show every kaiju has the defeated mark on it, which in this case signifies that they were killed. So in other words, by the end of the film, because they do hint at this, that Godzilla's gotten like their power taken away. He murdered every single one of the kaiju because they could pose a threat to the throne, so he just killed them all off.
Well, here's the thing about Kong when he fought Kong. At the end of the fight when he fought Kong, obviously he belted the shit out of Kong. Now, I've seen arguments for why Kong won and was the winner of overall. Kong beat Mecha with help from Godzilla's Godzilla amp, and when he
Let's
sneak attacked
for that final portion, because that's gonna be just a special case there, because that just Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So,
but other than that, like Kong like sneak attack Godzilla at the start of the final fight between him and Godzilla. Because he throws the thing at the building to throw Godzilla off and jumps on him, and then even then he gets ripped apart.
Yeah. So in the ocean fight, because it's in water, it's very clear Godzilla wins. Obviously. Now the way they actually get out of that and make sure Kong doesn't die, it's kind of funny, but also kind of stupid in a way. They just
it doesn't make sense.
They shut down everything. They have him play dead because Godzilla's far enough away to not sense the seismic movement if they are playing dead, which is good. And I also want to point out that the entire reason they were on the boats and going the way they were was to avoid all of Godzilla's routes because they knew that Kong was going to get fucked up.
It doesn't. The reason why I don't believe it makes sense is because Kong obviously jumped back on the boat. Godzilla would have half a brain to know this.
Yeah,
because he was underwater.
It was plot convenience to make sure Kong was alive.
Yeah, because Godzilla would be the type to finish the job. And here's the thing that didn't make sense to me: when Godzilla won the fight, he didn't kill Kong, which it wasn't like. Well, but it's not a respect. It's not a respect thing. It doesn't make sense to be a respect thing because every other.
No, it wasn't a respect thing, but there is actually an explanation when we get. So, real quick. So after the ocean fight, it leads to a reference that only OG Godzilla fans would understand. The whole is Kong afraid of how's Kong with heights thing. When they strap him to the chopper and start flying him, that is a reference to the original Godzilla. And there's actually quite a few references to that film. It's a reference to the original Godzilla vs. Kong film, where they used balloons to fly Kong to Godzilla. The laugh I got at my friend when I told him that in the theater, I will never forget.
That's weird.
You tell somebody that who's never watched the OG films, they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, nope, that actually happened. But
yeah, right, Godzilla quite clearly won the fight. We all agree to that
very handily. Now, so after Kong gets the axe, which we've already broke down, needs to be explained more. The city fight is fucking gorgeous. It's amazing. The fight choreography of that is just beautiful. It's done perfectly.
Godzilla technically killed Kong.
Yes. So
He did. He
so
won.
we have the round one fight of the city, right? Which when Kong has the axe and everything, and Godzilla is still beating the living shit out of him. Um, when Kong lands that big hit, a lot of people actually are asking, like, Godzilla plot arm because like the axe didn't pierce him; it just exploded. The explanation for that is the axe absorbs Godzilla's energy, right? It absorbs this nuclear energy, but what it seems like is if it absorbs too much, it releases a pulse and explodes, which is why it exploded before it actually hit Godzilla's head and sent them flying. And Alexander Skarsgård's character saying that Khan won that round, in my opinion, is actually pretty inaccurate. I actually say Godzilla won that round. Because, well, one, Godzilla just got up, like, scot-free, but Khan actually retreated and went to high ground because he knew that Godzilla was going to get up. And Khan also got sent flying way farther back than Godzilla and actually took more damage from it. So it's like it's a bit.
I think he won the second fight. He kind of won it.
Yeah.
Godzilla obviously got more hurt in that second fight than Kong.
Which does lead this. I will say this. I predicted this entire film after the first show.
You did, and it hurt my feelings. Like how badly you predicted it.
Like I literally knew everything. Like,
but you did get one thing wrong when you predicted it.
Which was?
You thought when you originally said to me, you didn't think the axe was gonna be as detrimental as what it was.
As detrimental to Godzilla. Which?
Yeah, it was. It definitely way more detrimental.
Oh yeah, no, it hurt him. Like we actually see it get stuck in Godzilla's leg, which I was like, oh shit. But Godzilla then rips it out with his mouth and chucks it at Khan, which I found hilarious. Okay, also, I'm gonna actually stream this because I think everybody needs to see this. Godzilla being a sadistic bastard after he hits Kong with the atomic breath. I think
Kong always got away from the atomic breath very skimmily. He never got hit fully with it.
Right, yeah, here real quick. This needs to, like, I need to show this real quick.
Copyright.
Like, just this whole scene.
Yeah.
This whole scene.
He smiled.
Godzilla fucking smiles like a sadistic asshole. Like, no,
Hey, what's poppin', kings and queens? Hope all of you have been doing well. So, Legendary Pictures decided to stop.
That's still going, whatever. But regardless, like, he smiles and laughs. That is horrifying to me, and I think everybody knows why. Like Godzilla was enjoying beating the shit out of Kong.
Yeah. Now we also get a what do we get? Oh yeah. We actually so we get some decent scaling also for Kong outside of this. Like Kong went upscaled really ridiculously in this movie.
And also Godzilla was too, surprisingly.
Godzilla didn't get much scaling up because the only scaling Kong just got the big upscale.
Yeah, no, Kong got the major upscales. Like heavily, honestly. And
he went from like his best feat being building level.
Yeah, what would you say his best
Like
feat currently is?
Currently, fighting and hurting Godzilla would be like Large Island.
Oh yeah.
Level to Large Island.
Speaking of the scaling, Godzilla burning a hole straight to the Hollow Earth, which is essentially like burning a hole to the core of the Earth. The fuck.
That's yet to be calced, but it's probably a decent feat.
That's a. I'll probably honestly, I think I'm gonna do the calcs, but like, holy shit.
It's probably ridiculous. I could probably ask some people to do the calc. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest.
That is a.
Especially since we have some prediction of how far down he'd have to blow.
Yeah. So okay, round 2, like round 3 from Godzilla, the true final fight.
Oh no, it did get calced. It did get calced.
Oh god, what's the calc?
Checking now. It is. It's island level.
Okay,
Island, large island.
okay, so his atomic breath is strong and is an just island level. That is still
Yeah.
scary.
That's a lot for a movie, like a real life movie,
For a
like a live
for
action.
just a beam attack in a movie. Like
Also,
this.
we have a calc for speed too.
What's the speed at?
Atomic breath is Mach 83.
That makes a lot of sense, and it does actually attribute to Khan's speed a bit more even now, because Khan was able to at least react to it and dodge it, but he still gets hit.
Oh, it makes sense because Kong. It makes sense because fucking Godzilla was shown quite easily breaking the sound barrier, just moving his tail. So like,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
and even like if we flash back to King of the Monsters, when him and Ghidorah collided, they make a sonic boom. And speaking of that, a lot of people were actually saying that Godzilla got amped in this movie, surprisingly.
From what?
Through the final scene. Not the final scene, but the final fight of Godzilla, when Godzilla fights Khan. How fucking fast the fucker is now. He is.
He wasn't that fast. He was fast, but he wasn't that fast.
Like, I never want to hear anyone say
He
that
can't do his
something's
thing.
slow.
He wasn't.
Like,
Godzilla, yeah.
he was moving like that. I was not expecting like agility from Godzilla.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what people are saying. Like, he got buffed for this film. A debunk to that is after he got the nuke amp from King of the Monsters, right, where like all his atomic breath gets amped and stuff. You notice that the atomic breath is still actually the same power as it was in King of the Monsters, right? So my theory actually is that amp, it never went away. It's a permanent amp, and then his body acclimated to it, which is why he's able to move so much faster now.
Funnily enough, it would make sense in a feat standpoint because if you didn't know, Godzilla's best feat beforehand was 10 gigatons from destroying Ghidorah's storm.
Right.
Now his best feat now is the Hollow Earth at 29 gigatons.
Which does make sense.
It's meaning he's, if anything, he's stronger in this movie.
Right, which is like what I said with the acclimating thing. So he kept the permanent amp, but then his body acclimated to it, and actually like it boosted him further because of that. It's
also the speed of it is faster too because it's Mach 50 this time. It was Mach 50 in the last movie. Now it's Mach 83.
Yep. Yeah, because just it was essentially a permanent amp for him, and if anything, he's gotten stronger because he killed every single one of the kaiju. He got stronger because of that, because he absorbed their radiation as well. So what essentially ended up happening is Kong would have still lost if it was the Godzilla from King of the Monsters, but it just became so much more unfair with Godzilla now, because Godzilla's just stronger because of everything that he did in between the two films. And it's also important to originally the fight was going to be worse. Like, the director actually ended up reshooting the fights because he actually felt bad for Khan. Originally, Khan was going to get beat worse than he did in this film.
Yeah, I get you. Overall, what do you rate this movie?
Oh, 8 to 9 out of 10 as a Godzilla film. As a film in general, though, 7 or 8.
I'd give it a 6.5, 7. It was alright. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown should stop being in the movie, but yeah, it's a good movie.
Alright, yeah, fair enough. So now let's move on to the debunks.
I want to know Bobby can't. I want to know no Bobby can't.
Facts. Alright, I'll sign that petition. Alright, so now it's part 2 of this. Debunking the Khan fans. Because holy shit, they are stubborn as hell. And desperate. Kong killing Mecha Godzilla is their biggest argument for him winning because Godzilla was being slapped around by Mecha.
If anything, you could actually argue it's a FIFA Godzilla. Do you know why?
Explain.
It's Godzilla's attack that's actually cutting him down. It's the power from Godzilla's attack.
Yep. Now, so we actually see that Godzilla's atomic breath is weaker than the laser from Mecha, which actually makes the laser beam of Mecha Godzilla really fucking broken, and would.
But in all fairness, Godzilla, neither Godzilla or Mecha would necessarily like scale to their beams at full speed.
Oh well,
in their full power.
It's very clear that Mecha is probably the strongest kaiju we've ever seen in the films, right? But.
Yeah, no, he's definitely the strongest kaiju. I just mean, what I mean is they quite obviously, like, if they were to be hit with their own beams, they would probably get pretty badly hurt.
Yeah.
It's their strongest attack.
So
like, it makes sense for the atomic beam hurting.
Now, a lot of people are like, well, like, Godzilla was just getting his ass kicked the entire time, which I have an explanation.
Kong was getting his ass...
Right.
Kong was getting his ass kicked the whole time, too.
Why Mechagodzilla, even when Kong showed up, Mechagodzilla was still intrinsically focused on Godzilla, right? That's because, if you remember, they used Ghidorah's skull to pilot Mechagodzilla, and they mentioned the psychic link. So when they brought in the Hollow Earth radiation stuff, what it essentially allowed for was Ghidorah to pull a Kiryu, which I loved. They did a reference to Kiryu, allowing the soul of Ghidorah to take over Mechagodzilla.
Which is why Godzilla.
Which is why Mechagodzilla was so dead set on murdering Godzilla, because he's like, this is Ghidorah thinking I now have the perfect body to do this shit. So when Kong shows up and like pulls Mechagodzilla's head back, it's like they start teaming up, but Mechagodzilla isn't focused on Kong until Kong pulls out the axe and starts hitting him with it, which bounces off until Godzilla charges it. Is about to kill Kong. They short-circuit Mechagodzilla, which, might add, makes no fucking sense. It's a major plot inconvenience. But then, people like to say, well, Kong finished off Mecha. If Godzilla had not been there, Kong would have died. Neither of them could beat Mechagodzilla alone. They needed each other. Had Godzilla not been a smart motherfucker and charged the axe, Kong would have been dead and had a drill tail through his face.
I definitely agree. So, alright. What else is there? Any other arguments coming through the pipeline?
People saying that because the first fight wasn't fair, and they don't count the first fight because they say the first fight wasn't fair, and then saying that it was a draw because neither of them died, and because they both won one round, and because, Godzilla left at the end of the movie.
Okay, here's the big debunk for that. They're both the fucking same fight.
Thank you very much, good sir.
They literally are. If you don't want to count, the only way you can count not as the same fight is by the one dude literally saying round 2 goes to Godzilla, to Kong. But by that logic, you have to count round 1 going to Godzilla, therefore making Godzilla win either way. So you lose either way.
And even if we weren't to count round 1, think of it as a boxing match. The one fighter wins round 1, right? But round 2 goes to the other fighter via a knockout, and he knocks him out. Who wins? The fighter that knocked the other guy out, right?
Yes.
So, therefore, even by their logic, Godzilla still wins. It doesn't matter if they both won one round. Godzilla was still the guy to knock the other one out. And actually kill Kong, like Kong was fucking dead.
I think it's interesting, to be honest. I think it's very interesting. So, in the end, I left the movie, thinking, wow, Kong got his ass whooped. To think people actually think this is different is just wrong.
No, the final arc was actually because Godzilla walked away, and they said, oh, that's them showing that's like a sign of a draw. Do you want to take this one, or do you want me?
It's an acknowledgement, but that's it.
What I got from it was, because remember, Godzilla roars at Kong like he's ready to fucking murder Kong, and he could do it then and there at the end of that film. And Kong picks up the axe, and then he's looking at Godzilla. Godzilla's ready to murder, claw blade. He's ready to go at it again. And when Khan drops the axe, what I think that was intended to be was Khan essentially saying, you are stronger than me, you are better than me, I will not bow to you, but you are superior. And essentially Godzilla was like, I respect that, you saved my life, we're good. I still kicked her ass though, and then walked away.
Well, it was an acknowledgement that Kong didn't want to beat Godzilla with his own power, with Godzilla's power.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of ways of interpreting it, but I kind of took it as Khan conceding, just like.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you change your premise, concession accepted.
Yep. Yep. Facts. That works way too well.
Anyway. Is there anything else you want to say?
Not really. Just that I am fucking hyped for whatever they do next. Please be destroyed.
Same, to be honest. Same, actually.
I really hope that they bring in Destroyer. They set up Destroyer perfectly in King of the Monsters via the Oxygen Destroyer. You have the Oxygen Destroyer, you gotta bring the most powerful kaiju in Godzilla history. Like, come on.
But, like, is he beating Goku?
Ooh, movies no. Sadly.
I love how you had to think about that. You're like, movies could he? No.
Now, imagine if, like, randomly they just make Godzilla in the next film, just, like, make him, like, uni out of nowhere. I'm gonna laugh my ass off if they actually pull that shit.
Well, I keep saying, like, there's limits to what movies can do, like live action movies do. That's why I think, like, that's why we stand by the idea of, like, things like Galactus. When they bring Galactus to Marvel, they're going to make him smaller. Because there's certain things that you just can't make cinematic.
And it's also, like, and we're not gonna go into the scale of the MCU or anything, but, like, for example, the MCU, those characters are a lot more powerful than people think. Like, a shit ton more powerful, because
They're not that. They're not.
The MCU is
Not
part
that
of the
powerful.
comics now. It is part of the comics, which is kind of it upscales.
Yeah, but the movie, the movie variation isn't strong. I'm sorry, they just aren't.
Yeah, but it still does upscale them. They are still ridiculous right now simply because of that upscale.
Like we can get into debunking MCU any day, but like or upscaling them. But
so
anyway,
closing thoughts before we end this.
Check out Tekka's OnlyFans. It's Tekka Big Boy 69. His first video is a collab with him, and it's Tekka x Tekkadon 09. It's a collab between them both.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, James, for recording this with me. Man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's alright though. Yeah, it was.
Alright, man. Talk to you later.